So you know the different tonalities create different emotional responses and different effects in our environment.
Magic.
Yeah, that's what they would have called it. What would it have been if you dressed up in a ceremonial robe, sat in a circle with candles to a symbol on the floor with your hands in a certain position and said, "Oh," and there's
Probably.
5 or 6 of you chanting the same sound that's
Mm.
echoing through the chamber of where you're at. Man, that sounds like they're casting spells. See what I'm saying? But really, it's
Yeah.
science of harmonic balance, harmonic resonance, and radionics is what it is. So, anyhow, long story short, I'm putting together a compilation of who these different beings may have been in correlation to each other throughout time. So, like, it may not be, and this goes all the way down to, well, maybe that was just they were just depicted that way. I don't think so. I think these were the Anunnaki, and the reason I say that, there's too many depictions of them being gods. First of all, okay, I don't think they were the original Anunnaki. I think they were the second wave. I think they were the descendants of them when they started mixing, which in the Bible would be the Nephilim, right? The Nephilim,
Hmm.
the Nephilim were said to be giant. They were actually, no, not giant. They were the men of old, giants and men of old, right? Men of renown, right? The men of renown. These were Hercules. That's who. Hercules was one of them. That's what they were. All of the titans. They were the demigods that you heard of, right? That's who the
Hmm.
Nephilim were, right? But then it says the Nephilim started sleeping with Earth women, right? With human women, and their offspring were monsters. Yeah. Where do you think the Cyclops comes from? Hmm? Look, all of these different things come from tales of these monstrosity people that were found at these certain times and places, and I believe they all go back to this historic lineage of their crossbreeding and not and and their crossbreeding, and that's the evidence that we have of that. So, what would you have if there was a crossbreed of these demigods with humans? What do you think you would come out with? Let's look at that. Let's go back to the goat where we left off. A half human and half goat. Now we've already talked about Lucifer being depicted that way. We've talked about Satan being depicted that way. We've even talked about God Pan being depicted that way. And you'll always see him out there. He's the half human, half goat, sitting there playing a flute. You've seen that shit. You've seen it in cartoons. You've seen it everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you think of a race of beings that are half human, half goat?
Uh, no.
They're called satyrs.
What the hell is that?
A satyr, Satyr. Look it up. A satyr, Satyr, and you'll have seen a million of them in your life. You're like, oh, okay, that's what that is. It's a mythological creature. Looks kind of like a
Oh, like on
centaur.
Charmed?
Well, you know what a centaur is.
Yeah, like on Charmed.
Yes, like on Charmed. Okay, that's a satyr. That's a satyr. All right, so now what we're looking at is in our history in multiple cultures, we know that there's been documents of these beings that are called satyrs, right? Or something similar that is a half goat, half human. Could this be
Uh-huh.
the offspring of these Nephilim, right?
That is possible.
Could be. Now, let's talk about the human jackal hybrid. You thought it was just a dog. What would you call? So we've got Moloch from the Bible, we've got Anubis from Egypt, right? What would you call a dog man? You call him a werewolf or some shit,
Yeah.
right? And have they not been depicted like all over the world since the beginning of time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now let's go to the half human, half bull. We found Nandi from the Indias from India. We found Taurus from the Greeks. We've got Baal from the Canaanites, and we got Apis from the Egyptians. So,
So are mermaids gods of the ocean?
well, I'm getting there too. Maybe so. I'm looking at spinoffs from Poseidon. You think about that. Who was Poseidon? Poseidon was one of the Greek gods, right? One of the pantheon. He was the one over the sea. How many alien stories do we have about shit from the sea? Tons
To be
of them.
honest,
I figured. Oh, wait. So this is the big one that you're going to really recognize. Nandi, Baal, Apis, and Taurus, right? Same being. Same being.
Uh-huh.
Now, have you ever heard of a race of beings that were half human, half bull?
Well, considering you just told me about 5 of them.
No, those, I mean, I said a race of beings. Those were individual
Oh,
deities,
no, I haven't.
individual characters. How about a minotaur?
What the hell is that?